But that product's going to be pretty epic. And I think with 420 Eats being more for the marijuana crowd, we're going to continue to pull in sponsors from that category. I highly doubt we're going to be pulling in a restaurant that makes the best chicken fried steak. Now, we might do an episode on that, but it's highly doubtful there'll be a sponsor. Now, if there's a place that makes a chicken fried steak with 25 grams of THC in it, totally different story.
Totally different.
Yeah. Yep. If you own Stonerville restaurant, Stonerville's Edibles, whatever you want to call it, yeah, you're going to want to advertise because people need to know about it and people will come see you. That's a great idea for somebody. If anybody knows how to make edibles and make edibles well, move to Oklahoma. Can be epically successful if you do it right now.
Yeah, timing's everything.
Timing is everything, and time is not almost up, but if you're going to get in the game now. Everybody that listens to us from Oklahoma and you've had any ideas to be able to do that, now's the time to quit bullshitting about it and get started on it. Do epic shit. There's so many things to doing epic shit when you're trying to be successful. If you're selling something, that's hard and that's easy. If you got a product and it's a niche product that everybody needs and nobody has, you're probably going to be pretty dang successful. I go back to the commercial for a product called Flex Seal. They're not a sponsor. I am mentioning their name. Probably one of the most epic products to come around in 10 years that hit the market that nobody else had. If you have a leaky roof, you can spray this stuff on your shingles and your leak will go away. Now, you need to fix it right, but that leak will go away right at that moment. If you want to build a boat out of a screen door, you can put some of this Flex Seal on it and it won't leak. And they make it in liquid. They make it in a spray form. They also make a Flex Seal tape, which I've used in my industry. Works fantastic. Expensive as F, but it works fantastic. That's a product that nobody knew they needed until it hit the market. And those people are making money hand over fist. And they're doing it because they had an idea and they did epic shit. If you sit on ideas, it'll never go anywhere. Everything starts from nothing. Completely nothing. Before there was Flex Seal, there wasn't a product available like it. Unless you were really good with duct tape and some latex. And even then, it's not the same product. It started from something. It started from nothing. Everything starts from nothing. You being successful starts from nothing. You have nothing, and then you gain an idea, and you think about the idea, and you research the idea, and then you put the idea into motion, and then the idea is not an idea anymore. It's a product or a service or whatever it may be. Don't listen to people about the odds of success. Shiner, you need to cover this.
I hear a lot of people talk about ideas they have, got this big dream they want to chase, and I'll talk to them in detail about it, and you can tell there's some passion to these people about this idea. And more times than not, when I ask them, well, why haven't you done this? Most of them will say, well, the odds this, the odds that, the odds aren't in my favor. Let me explain something to you about the odds. You should never pay attention to them. If more people had that outlook of not paying attention to the odds and just chased a dream and made it happen, eventually those odds are going to change and be in people's favor. So I'm not big on people who tell me that the odds are keeping them down. No, your fear is keeping you down. And I got a secret about fear. Fear is a lie. You can't be scared. You got to chase it. Don't put any weight into what the odds are. The odds mean nothing. It's your dream, and it's your dream, and it's your responsibility to go chase that dream and make big things happen.
Now, what if I want to make something happen, but I know it's going to take money to get off the ground? Let's say I've got an idea for there's a new clamp on luggage rack that'll clamp on any vehicle in 5 seconds, and it's waterproof. It's like a box, and it clamps on, and it suctions on, and nobody's got anything like that. What do I do to start that idea? Because I know it takes money, which I don't have, I know it takes manpower, which I can make that happen, but I don't know where to start. Research. It starts with research. If you have a cool name, even if it starts with a cool name, you got to do research. We did research.
Very much, yeah.
Damn right we did.
A whole bunch of it.
You don't want to have this super duper idea and come forward with it with a name and then find out somebody else has got the same idea with the same name. Plane crash.
And you can, research is one of those things that you do continuously. Like, we haven't stopped since we had that initial idea and started running with it.
No.
Like, 5 days of the work week, I bet 3 of mine are spent researching things in some fashion. But, I mean, research is a huge part of chasing dreams and doing epic shit.
Research doesn't generally cost a lot of money. It costs a lot of time.
A lot of time.
But it doesn't cost a lot of money. But if you do not do that research and you have money to go ahead with what you're doing and you start a manufacturing project or a product and then find out somebody else is making that same product, you not only killed your dream, you killed your checkbook and anybody else who's invested with you. It all starts with research. And then it goes to money. Okay, you got to make it start somehow. And everything pretty much starts with money in some way, shape, or form. Even podcasts. I can't just scream into my phone and call it a podcast. Now, you can do a podcast from your phone without having to buy any more equipment, but it's not going to sound good, and people are probably not going to listen. You got to try to at least come forward as professional. And one thing about our podcast, time and time over and over, people compliment us on our sound quality and how good this product, as far as clarity and being able to understand and not having audio problems or something of that nature. That also helps having a Donnie with that as well. But and I'm not saying everybody needs a Donnie. You don't have to have a Donnie to start, but at some point you're gonna have to have a Donnie. And Donnie's not with us today. He is sick. I don't know if he's got the flu or what, but he sounded like crap.
The bird flu or something.
Yeah, I didn't want to be near him. So
no.
It's like, you know what, Shiner and I have got this. We're not going to talk anything politics, so we're not going to need a bunch of sound clips and anything like that. And if we accidentally say the F-bomb, well, I'll do my best to try to get it out of there. But
well, and here's the other deal. Like you're talking about our audio quality and this and that, and Donnie, how we brought Donnie on board, and that's the one thing about you and I that I picked up on very early in our friendship is we both have a personality that we don't half-ass anything. Like if we decide we're going to do something, it's 110%. And I honestly believe if you're going to achieve your goals and you're going to capture the dreams you have, that's how you have to be. You can't half-ass anything.
No, anything less than 110% will not be successful.
So, yeah, I mean, that's, a lot of people, man, you guys do this, and you guys do this, catch on quick for you guys. Well, we go full bore at things. Have we always succeeded? No. We've probably each separately and together. I'm sure we could come up with instances we've chased something that's blown up in our face, but
well, even with the podcast, we failed a little bit because we wanted to start that podcast being in the very center, and we've kind of failed with that because the world kind of started changing around us. It gives you a lot of ammunition when stupidity and lack of common sense presents itself.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we call that a fail, but I mean, it's not exactly how we had it on paper being. I mean, I wouldn't say we failed at it.
I'm not shooting myself over it by no means, but, looking back on it, man, I wish there was a way to stay in the center. Because the last thing I want to do is detract listeners who may be uber to the left. If I'm in the middle and have some ideas about the right side of politics versus the left, being in the middle, it makes you more apt to listen and at least hear an opinion out. But, when you're far left and far right, the ears are too far apart from each other. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I feel you.
So anyways, now we get to money. How do we go about money to start a product? Now for you and I had a little bit put aside. I bought some really nice equipment to broadcast with. I don't have to have all this to be able to broadcast with, but it does make it easier. When you have a control room that's got soundboard, computers, monitors so we can see what's going on, and booms and microphones that stay where they are in front of your face instead of falling where you have to lift them up every 5 seconds. Stuff like that does cost money, and I've been fortunate enough to, have a little bit extra to be able to do that. Not everybody can, but you don't have to have this to put on a good podcast. But if you're manufacturing something, or you want to make let's take Creaker sauce, that barbecue sauce and salsa. It costs money to buy the ingredients for that.
375.
What's that?
Shout out to Big Country 75, man. That's the dude that we're referring to with Creaker sauce.
Yeah.
And man, props to that dude for having a dream and buckling down and chasing it, man. I got a lot of respect for the dude. He actually sent us a sample of the barbecue and the salsa to my door today, and we're looking forward to giving this a run through the gamut, man. So we see we'll have a review of it, I'm sure. Probably, you know what, Tiddy? Let's do something with this barbecue sauce, and let's film a little snippet. Let's just film like a 5-minute review of that stuff for the 420 Eats Insta and the YouTube page.
Sure. We can sure do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
I need to break out the smoker anyways.
Well, so perfect timing.
Maybe I can smoke pork shoulder and barbecue sauce just go hand in hand together. So
now you're talking dirty. Now you're just talking dirty.
But our point is somebody out there listen to us, and listen to the words "do epic shit" and buckle down and give 110%. Somebody listened, and now they're doing it. This guy got off his ass and made it happen.
Yeah, nothing but respect for people that are chasing dreams like Big Country is, man.
Mm-hmm. And now if you want stores to start carrying it, that's all fine and good. But before you do that, I think there's some state regulations that you have to go through. Being a food, there are certain criteria that you have to meet in the manufacturing process, and all that stuff is going to have to be met. So, he's got a good row left to hoe before people are going to start buying the crap out of his sauce at a grocery store. But he's on his way there, and more power to him. And I look forward to tasting the barbecue.
And that's my one thing. That's my one piece of advice for Big Country. You just mentioned, before it's carried in grocery stores, and if Big Country listens to this episode, man, if that's not your end game, it should be. I mean, that should be your end game. If it's local, if it's regional, get that stuff. That should be what you're shooting for. I mean, there is no sense in just having a mediocre goal. If you're going to make a goal, make it huge. When we got the first episode of 420 Eats wrapped up and we started showing it to friends and people started talking to us about it and we started getting some feedback. I was talking to Big Tiddy one day and Big Tiddy said, man, this would be crazy if we got this rolling and somebody like the Food Network picked us up. Now, the probability of that happening is probably not the highest, but there's nothing that says we can't do that.
Oh, yeah. Here comes the odds against. Odds are against that ever happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can look at the odds all day long on that deal, but doesn't mean we got to believe them.
No.
And it doesn't mean that's not a possibility. Anything is possible in this country. This country is founded on people chasing big dreams, man. Anything is possible. It's just up to you to find the way to get there to the end game. And that takes a lot of legwork, a lot of time researching, like we were talking about.
Yeah. A
lot of self-promotion, a lot of sacrifices. That's another thing, man. People don't understand that, chasing dreams, you got to sacrifice along the way. And that a lot of times that means it's not real comfortable. Nobody likes to sacrifice certain things, but it's all about how important that big dream is to you.
Danny Dreyer sold everything he had took off cross country with